Piers Morgan is calling on Elon Musk's X to ban Kanye, or Yay, call me Yay, for just coming out proudly as a Nazi, or as his fans would say, doing 4D chess and mental jujitsu to prove that the elites can't keep him down because he's saying Hail Hitler or something.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know. So Piers, who, y'all see me clash with him. Normally he's doing a lot of ridiculous MAGA stuff. But here he is, on the correct side. Yeah, he interviewed Kanye. Kanye stormed off and he was confrontational. And then now he's saying that Kanye is a coward who can't handle being challenged on him blatantly perpetuating Nazi ideas. And a little bit of context. First, let me show you him storming off of their interview. Then I'll show you Piers following up on it. But also, I don't know if you saw this, but Kanye or Ye released a song titled HH, I think. And it's just, the chorus is just him singing Hail Hitler over and over again, or to be more specific, inward Hail Hitler. And so he's just fully there, right? We first started hearing him say a bunch of anti-Semitic stuff, and then he started saying this, and then he wears KKK stuff, and now he's just saying out now Hail Hitler. Still, fans of his are saying, no, there's something so deep here. He's a genius. But this is really indicative, we talked about in other subjects, of just a problem we have. It seems like people, I don't know if it's social media or these ideologies themselves, but they're getting into this headspace that anything, even out and out Nazi stuff, as long as it goes against the powers that be and their consensuses, the expert consensus in their world, then it's acceptable, and it's just me showing that I love the First Amendment, right? And it's like, no, you have the right to say that stuff for sure in this country. And I can think you're disgusting for it. You're not being censored because I think you're disgusting for it. But here is the exchange where Kanye storms off because Piers misstates his follower count by 1 million.
On X, you've got 32 million followers. So you're one of the most followed people.
See, wait. Now look right now. You're not gonna take inches off my dick, bro. Like, how many followers do I have?
Well, how many is it?
I think you could do the study. You got a whole staff over there.
I thought it was 32 million. How many is it? You obviously know.
Don't help them out.
I'm told it's 33 million now. So congratulations. You're slightly bigger following than I thought.
No, congratulations. Your information is correct.
Where's he gone, Sneako?
That's it for Ye.
That's it for Ye. That's it. I'm so tired. We're doing something so cool here. Sneako thinks he's like crushing the world. I'm witnessing Kanye West, blah, blah, blah. And then people who aren't full Nazis, supposedly, they would say they're not. This is my point about how they've gotten themselves to believe that even someone saying Hail Hitler, that they're saying it, that the full, you know how they always used to get mad because they felt like people would call other people Nazis too easily? This is the real deal, huh? And now even that's acceptable because the mainstream media doesn't want you to say it. Well, good for the mainstream media. Like Russell Brand, in a way, Kanye West is challenging our assumptions, pushing back against censorship, and highlighting how it almost always benefits the powerful. Is that what he's doing, Russell? All right, well, here is Piers calling for Ye to be censored. He's calling for censorship, even though private platforms have a right to decide what their rules are on that platform.
But the trouble is...
That's the free speech right of a platform, by the way. Breaking news.
But the trouble is, Ye, it's not all love, is it? It's actually all hate. Mm-hmm. It's hate towards everybody, including your family, your ex-wife, towards Jewish people, towards other black people, towards other rappers, towards pretty much anyone you can think of. You've become a hate machine, fueled on social media because you have 32 or 33 million, as you corrected me, followers, amplifying everything you say, all this vicious sentiment to a vast audience. And that is wrong. Elon Musk should remove you from X. He should deplatform you. And to those who say, well, you platformed it, I did, because he's not being held to account properly on X. He's getting away with this, and it is amplifying his message. Now, if Ye wants to have a proper interview with me about all this, I will do that. But if he wants to play silly games, then he can swing for it. But yeah, if you want to sit in front of me, Ye, get on a plane, come to London, come to my studio, and let's do this man to man, face to face. And you can be held accountable for your despicable.
Piers.
I'm gonna come.
No.
Do not come.
I think we're getting a little hot on those buttons, Cole. Okay. What, like, yeah, if, like, to attract consumers on a platform, you're obviously not going to want to have certain content. That's every platform. X does it too. Elon, side note, goes and censors people that he doesn't like, which you shouldn't do when it's just because you don't like them. But yeah, you're going to have rules. And normally, normal platforms, so that it's usable for consumers, because it's a service you're providing to them, will say, hey, maybe don't go and say that Jewish people, this, that, and the other thing, and Hitler's great, and I love Hitler, and all the things that, you know, Ye's been saying. And that's within the right. And I guess as of now, they're not doing it. And I said I didn't understand why Piers did this interview, as I talked about when we covered it originally. Not because you can't have someone, the most extreme person, on and then challenge them. That could be a chance to expose them. Great. You have to handle it responsibly, though. And I get that in his mind, it's like 33 million, followers. I'm not going to get it wrong, taking inches off, whatever. 33, that's a lot of people. And so it's not that you don't have a platform now, and so it makes sense that maybe you'd bring one of your platform to challenge him. I just don't know what Piers thought he was going to get out of it, because we've already seen it's not like Ye can engage with criticism at all. But now let's look at what the clip was that Russell Brand showed to justify this. Wow, this is actually something really deep he's doing. He's showing that if you censor, the powerful win, which is why he's saying Hail Hitler, who censored a lot. Like, as far as censors go, Nazi Germany, pretty bad. They did a lot of censoring. They weren't really pro-free speech in Nazi Germany. Yay.
All right, so I had this vision of performing Hail Hitler at the Grammys wearing a...
You won't. I promise you will not perform that at the Grammys. Ugh.
swastika t-shirt and crying because we broke down all the walls of censorship, to break down all of the woke and the Me Too and the cancel and all of these ideas between all of the tweets and the songs and the music, and really, you know, all the threats, the threat of death, the non-threats on money and cutting off the finances, and all that happened. That we went through this war to like really fight for our freedom as artists, because you can't be artists if you can't tell the truth. You're no longer artists anymore. You're now a commodity. You're a slave. You have to say.
Do you know who fought her record label and sort of the powers in the music industry without ever once saying even one Nazi thing? Taylor Swift. Hey, Kanye, you're so weak that you can't do what Taylor did without screaming Hail Hitler. Like, she also, because it's part of what he's cried about is that he didn't, like, he had some issue, I guess, with his label or something, or didn't like the powerful people in the music industry, and then he started making about Jewishness, and there was that whole debacle. If you have an issue with powerful people of any ethnicity or any religious background, you can have an issue with them. you don't have to become a Nazi. Okay, it's a pretty simple little thing I got figured out. I could put it on a whiteboard, but you can do it without becoming Nazis way over there. And you don't have to fight to get your voice back. You got to get your voice. I don't know what he's talking about because I don't keep up with him enough, because why would I? But I'm sure he has some issue. And again, the wonderful Taylor Swift also had issues with feeling like she couldn't express herself in the ways that she wanted to. And so she re-recorded her music, took down her own thing, like bow, 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 took down the record label, and went on the biggest tour maybe in the history of stadium tours ever after severing ties. Oh, yeah. And never even once, not even one single time, said anything positive about Hitler. Like, not even one time. Isn't that crazy? Not one time did Taylor Swift, to get her voice back, have to say anything about Hitler. Not even once. Not even once. But he's justifying his Nazism by, this is how I show that I can say the thing that they say I can't say whilst getting back my independence. No, businesses don't have to want to associate with you. Platforms don't have to associate with you. Industry groups don't have to associate with you, whatever. If you say things that are abhorrent, it's not censorship. It's just they have a right to sever ties with you. He made a big deal of how he was being punished because I think like his Adidas deal or something got cut off by Adidas. And I might be misstating the brand, but it was like one of those, brand things. To which I say, yeah, I don't know if Adidas wants to be Adolf Adidas. Nah, that wasn't great.
Legalize comedy.
Thank you, Elon. I thought it was all right. And that's life. That's life. And they're such crybabies. Now, if Kanye said the stuff that he did about Jewish people that was disgusting and then was put in jail, that wouldn't be allowed constitutionally, right? Which he wasn't put in jail. His business got hurt because a lot of people, it's this crazy thing. We saw the tragedy, the horrific massacre of the Holocaust and went, I don't think I'm ever going to say positive things about Hitler. And I think I might not hang out with people who do. Just a little social rule. Here's more of the justification, I guess.
It's funny just to say it because you're told so much for your entire life, this is something you can't say. It like parallel.
No, you can say it. You can say it. And we cannot like you for it. Do you get that? Can you understand that? You can say it. You can. You're doing it now. You're showing everyone you can, and we cannot like you for it. And that can violate terms of service that you agreed to when you got on a platform, so they can remove you from the platform. And businesses don't have to sell your products. Yep. But you can say it, and other people have their free rights to disassociate with you. Gosh, saying it was so weird. Everyone kept saying, don't say Hail Hitler. And I was like, why though?
So much for your entire life, this is something you can't say. It like parallels with like the Cousin record. Like, you can't say, tell your cousin, don't tell nobody type of lyrics and shit. And it becomes more about that, or the KKK outfit. It's more about this idea of being told that you can't do something than it is about what it's specifically saying, because there's a lot of black people that have no connection to Hitler or not Hitler.
He obviously has severe mental health problems, so that's a part of this too. But at some point, you still have to engage with what's being said, given his platform. But no, that doesn't make any sense. They tell me I can't wear KKK outfits. No, you can. And we don't like it when you do, okay? That's it. It's very simple. You have the legal right to, and we will hate you for it. But Russell Brand thinks this is so profound. Every time I see him, there's less shirt and more skin. And he has a cross necklace as he's about to go. Maybe something deep's going on with Kanye saying that thing.
Sneako, who's his mate there and also a significant streamer and successful person in his own right, I think himself subsequently walks off. Let's have a look.
Oh, what do you want to hold me accountable?
If you don't want to answer questions either, you are free to stand up and walk away like a little sniveling
Well, you could ask questions.
Too.
If you have questions for me, then I'll feel free to answer those.
Here's my question for you. Why is your mate Ye?
Is this whole thing going to be interrupting, or is this whole thing just going to be interrupting? Do you want me to speak at all?
You're sounding like Andrew Tate Light, like his annoying little younger brother we never knew about. Okay? Doesn't work with me. Okay? You set this thing up. It's obviously some kind of elaborate prank.
Okay, your team asked me to do this. If you want to be Netanyahu light on TV,
but given you want to,
if you want to be Dave Portnoy with the suit,
that's fine.
Then sure. If you want to do ad hominem attacks, then why invite someone on your show? I set this up because your team asked me to do it. I did everything that I could. If I knew that this would, I'm not here wasting your time. You're angry at me for setting up an interview that you wanted. If you have questions for me, I'm happy to answer those.
Here's
If you
my
want to keep
question.
doing insults, there's no point in me being here.
Why did Jay stand up like a sniveling little coward and walk away before I could ask him difficult questions?
For the third time, Piers, I don't know if you have a hearing problem, but I'm not going to answer questions on another man's behalf.
Well, it's a really interesting culture now, isn't it? Our culture is a kind of argument. That's what our culture is. Has it always been that? Has it always just been an unpleasant argument? Was it this when Elvis got big, or when the Beatles got big, or when the Sex Pistols got big? Just an argument between emergent cultural forces and establishment cultural forces. And where do those lines lie?
All right. I used to think that I hated the establishment. But if this is the alternative, give me... Obviously, that's
okay,
not.
I'm going to throw up.
Yeah.
I'm throwing up. You're making me throw up.
Right. Obviously, you can have an alternative to the establishment that's not this. But give me establishment if the emerging cultural alternative is whatever this is.
Kind of argument. That's what our culture is. Has it always been that? Has it always just been an unpleasant argument? Was it this when Elvis got big, or when the Beatles got big, or when the Sex Pistols got big? Just an argument between emergent cultural forces and establishment cultural forces. And where do those lines lie now? In the last election campaign, when Oprah Winfrey lined up with Kamala Harris and we saw all of those celebrities, I thought...
So we're responding to the Kanye clip. All right. So let's see where he goes with this. And why does he have glasses on?
The world has changed. It's changing because this seems irrelevant. What seems more relevant is that Rogan has had Trump on, and that Tucker is endorsing Trump, and that Theo Von has had Trump on. The world is changing. The pantheon is changing. You see that even the institutions themselves are starting to alter. Maybe not so much in a country like mine, the UK, where the establishment roots are so deep.
What are you talking about? Gosh, what is he talking about?
Sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way.
Catacombs, deep subterranean caverns. But in your country, it's radically altering. New types of celebrity, new type of discourse, new type of rhetoric, whether it's sort of OnlyFans models or Instagram stars.
OnlyFans models? Show yourself, Jaden. What?
Or YouTubers or streamers. There are new categories and classes of celebrity, but also now we have the interesting spectacle of people at the pinnacle of fame, and Kanye West is one of that sort of 2 to 5 people that know what it's like to be at the absolute zenith, reordering and reorganizing. As I've said to you before, someone like Leonardo DiCaprio is one of the world's most famous people. His position is not going to alter. He's safely ensconced institutionally. It seems that Kanye West is a true artist. I'm not saying that to diminish Leonardo DiCaprio. I love his movies. But I'm saying that an artist, in a sense, makes people challenge their perceptions of what is real, what is moral, what is ethical, what is funny. All these questions are brought to us by the artist, and Kanye West is certainly doing that.
What? I don't understand. What are you saying? You lunatic. What's that? What's wrong with you? That was just 3 minutes of barf to get to Kanye's a real artist. He just did a song. If you heard it, it's like bomb, bomb, bomb. All right, that little sequence. And on top of it, he's saying a phrase that resembles one of the worst moments of humanity. That still matters. I don't care if too many people got called Nazis whenever they were really just kind of extreme or had questions about culture. I don't care if wokesters went too far on this thing. If you can't still understand the realness about opposing people, not putting them in jail, but using our free speech rights to criticize their free speech, who perpetuate Nazism. It matters. And now they're all sniffing themselves, their own flatulence so much, this cycle of sniffing and sniffing, that now anyone doing something that makes the left angry is by definition so cerebral and is doing something impactful and is breaking the barriers, and the mainstream media doesn't want you to know Ye's truth. What's his truth, Russell? That he can't be censored. Exactly, because it's America. We already knew that. He's just showing us that that's true. We knew it already. He's not being censored. He's just a perpetual victim. Unbelievable. Look at this outfit Russell wore. I don't normally criticize outfits. Put a shirt on and take your glasses off. Put a shirt on. Don't defend Nazis. If you do, put a shirt on. This is what happens, okay? Whenever, and I blame all the people who, Joe Rogan, think you did this, not directly. Oh my gosh, that's gonna get clipped. I'm gonna think that's the perfect little outrageous lefty thing to say. No, that's not what I mean. I'm saying all of the people like Joe Rogan who participated in a culture that said necessarily we should be as sheepish, but just rejecting every single mainstream consensus, even like how Hitler's bad, and I should bring on people to go, oh, maybe actually it was Churchill who was worse than what we're doing. That little thing y'all were doing that made you feel so special, and you know the truth, and no one else does, and we've been lied to by everyone, the powers that be, has led to this. This is where we got. Because you guys can't handle a nuanced world where sometimes mainstream consensuses are right, sometimes the expert get them wrong, but experts do bring a ton of value to our discourse, and we should treat them as such while also acknowledging when they get it wrong, and that the US government can do a lot of things really well and have done things really poorly, that we can be a great country while also messing things up. You can't contend with that nuance. So you turn your brain off and just take the opposite stance as the people you don't like, because it's simpler that way. And that has led us to the inevitability of someone being cheered on for saying the most disgusting thing you can imagine in politics, which is being supportive of a figure like Hitler. Great job, guys. But at least CNN's ratings aren't as good anymore. We beat the mainstream media. Get the bonus show by clicking the join button below.